Hello everyone, let's get started with today's episode of physical change and chemical change. So last lesson in 7 CBSE science I have uploaded acid, base and salt. So it's a brand new episode. Let's get started with physical change and chemical change. So we are here with physical change and chemical change. So every day you come across many changes in your surroundings, like so there only we have to differentiate between some are physical changes and some are chemical changes. So how do we differentiate between physical change and chemical change? So that only we are going to study today. Right, for example, your mother may ask you to dissolve some sugar in water. So you are making a sugar solution or a cold drink, you are adding sugar to water or dissolving it. So making a sugar solution is a change. Similarly, setting curd from milk is a change. Sometimes milks become sour and souring of milk is also a change. Now, we have stretched a rubber band and might be it is not coming back to its normal form. It is also a change. Now, there are several changes which are happening in your surroundings. You are supposed to make a list of only 10 changes which are happening in your surroundings. And after studying this lesson, we will make it clear that which one is a physical change and which one is a chemical change. So, let's get started. In this chapter, we shall perform some of the activities and study the nature of these changes. Now, broadly, these changes are under two categories. First one is physical and the next one is chemical changes. So, let us take the first activity now. Now, we are taking a piece of paper and cutting it into 4 square pieces. Again, we are cutting each square piece further into 4 pieces. Now, see, this is what has happened. We are taking a paper, dividing it into 4 pieces. Then we are dividing it this square into again 4 pieces. Like that, we are dividing this all again into 4 square pieces. And we are laying the pieces on the floor or a table so that all the pieces acquire the shape of the original piece of the paper. So this was the original full paper. We are laying it on the either on the table or on the floor so that it gets the shape of the original paper. So obviously you are getting the original shape, but you cannot join the pieces back to the original piece. So there has some change happened in the property of the paper. Is it clear? So some change has happened here. Now, second activity is collect some chalk dust lying on the floor near the chalkboard in your classroom, or crush a small piece of chalk. So in classroom you are getting huge amount of chalk dust and all. When you are going near the board, you take that, you just make a chalk powder, with few drops of water, you just make a piece of chalk roll and you just roll it into the shape of a piece of chalk. Let it dry. So the next day when you go to school, you can see that you have recovered another piece of chalk, probably from those chalk dusts which were lying on the ground near the blackboard. So this is the second activity. Now the third activity. Now these activities are quite interesting and I think these are quite easy and you can perform them at home as well as in school also, right? Now take some ice in a glass or a plastic tumbler, melt a small portion of ice, placing the tumbler in sun. Now you have a mixture of ice and water now, right? Now place the tumbler in a freezing mixture, or you can put the tumbler inside you take a small pot kind of thing. You can place that pot again inside the freezer as well. So does the water become solid? So you are getting the solid ice once again. So the ice which was again which was transforming to water has again regained its form of ice when you are freezing that water again, right? So now we are moving to the next activity. We are boiling some water in a container. So did you see the steam rising on the surface of water? Yes, we have seen when your mother is boiling water, you can see that steam is rising from boiling water. Hold an inverted pan with a handle over the steam from a distance. So you should be very careful and you should do this experiment under your parents' guidance or supervision, right? Don't try to do this experiment with boiling water alone. So do you see any droplet of water on the inner surface of the pan which you were holding? So on the boiling water, you were inserting a pan oppositely holding a pan from which the vapor which was coming from the boiling water, which was getting deposited on this pan. So you are seeing many droplets of water getting deposited in this pan, which was invertly holded on that boiling water pan. Now we will move on to this activity 5.5, right? Now this 5.5 should be done under your parents' supervision, because this is a very difficult type of experiment. So be careful while handling with flame. So hold a used hacksaw blade with a pair of tongs. So what is a hacksaw blade? It is used for sharpening objects. It is called a hacksaw blade. So keep the tip of free end of the blade on a gas stove. Wait for a few minutes. Okay, so you are holding it with a pair of tongs and you are holding it on a flame. You are holding it over the flame for a few minutes. So does the color of the tip of this blade change color? Remove the blade from the flame. Observe the tip once again after some time. Okay, so is it changing color? Because you are holding it on top of the flame for some time. So does it get back its original color? So we have done in activities 5.1 and 5.2 where we have dealt with paper and a piece of chalk dust. We have seen that they underwent their changes in size, right? In activities 5.3 and 5.4 where water changed its states from solid to liquid or from gas to liquid, in that activity we have seen that there is only a change of state, so solid to liquid or liquid to gas. And in 5.5, this activity where we have heated this hacksaw blade in a flame, there we have seen that it has changed its color on heating. So properties such as change of shape, color and size and state of a substance are called physical properties of a substance. A change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties is called a physical change. A physical change is generally reversible, and in such a change no new substance is formed. Okay, it's a physical change and in that no new substance is formed. So it is to be remembered properly that when there is a change in physical properties, this is a physical change, and in this no new substance is formed. Now we will go or move on to this chemical change. So what is chemical change? So we are starting now chemical change, and when we start chemical change, we are very much familiar with rusting of iron, right? So this is a very good example. When we are taking a piece of iron, we are keeping it in the open for some time, we see a film of brownish substance which is formed on top of iron. This substance is called rust, and the process is called rusting. Iron gates of parks or farmlands, iron benches kept in lawns and gardens, almost every article of iron kept in open gets rusted, right? So at house you must have seen shovels, spades getting rusted when exposed to the atmosphere for some time, right? So here you can see in this diagram all these things which are kept in the open, they are mostly made up of iron and they have already rusted. So rusting of iron is a very important change which happens when iron is kept in open for some time. So when your kitchen tawa or a wet iron pan often gets rusted if it is left in that state for some time. So rust is not iron. What is it? It is different from iron, and when it is getting it's deposited on iron. Let us consider a few more changes where the new substances are formed. Okay, so we will, when we are seeing many changes, many examples, we will see that how a chemical change is different from a physical change, right? So let us move on to activity 5.6. Now this activity 5.6, it is very dangerous and it should be always demonstrated by the teacher in your class, right? You should never do it alone. So it is dangerous to look for long at this burning magnesium ribbon, and the teacher should advise the children not to stare at the ribbon for long stare. So get a small piece of a thin strip of magnesium ribbon. Now clean its tip with the help of a sandpaper. Bring the tip near a candle flame and it burns with a brilliant white, we can say, light. So when it is completely burnt, it is leaving a powdery ash on the petri dish or on the plate you are keeping just below the burning flame. So does the ash look like magnesium ribbon? No, the change has completely formed a new substance, that is magnesium oxide. So magnesium ribbon burnt in oxygen gives you the new compound called magnesium oxide. But this strip of magnesium should be always experimented under the supervision of your teacher, right? You are all kids, so you are not supposed to do it alone. Just tell your teacher that you want this experiment to be done in class, and you just get it done. The equations here are different from those in mathematics, and in these equations of this kind, the arrow implies what it becomes. So you are taking magnesium plus oxygen, and this arrow represents to the compound which is formed, and no attempt should be made to balance the chemical equation at this stage. So in 7th standard, no need to balance the equations, because in 8th and higher classes you will be doing this balancing of equations, right? So collect the ash and mix it with small amount of water. Stir the mixture of aqueous solution and then the mixture with blue and red litmus paper. Now, does the mixture turn the red litmus blue, or does the mixture turn the blue litmus red? So this, in acid, base and salt, I have told you that how the litmus reacts to acid and base. So I think you remember that, and if you don't remember that, here only I am putting the link above where I have discussed about the litmus paper in your acid, base and salt this lesson. So go to it, revise that litmus part, and then come back and answer this questions. Okay, this will be a homework for you. I am not telling you the answers now. Now, on the basis of this test, how do you classify the aqueous solution? Is it acidic or is it basic? So you are going to find it out, because I have already told you that magnesium oxide, how it reacts with litmus paper, and then only you will be knowing that it is acidic or it is basic. So on dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance, and this change can be written in the form of the following equation. So here I am writing the equation: magnesium oxide, which you obtained after the burning of magnesium ribbon plus water. You are making the aqueous solution, then you are forming this compound, that is magnesium hydroxide. Now, magnesium hydroxide is a base. So already I am telling you now it is a base. So the solution will be basic. And what is the litmus reacting to the basic solution? It is turning the red litmus blue. So magnesium oxide is the new substance formed on burning of magnesium. So magnesium hydroxide is another new substance formed by mixing the magnesium in water. So these are new substances formed from the first substance. So these are giving rise to new substances, and these are all chemical changes. Now we will move on to 5.7, right? So this 5.7 activity, 5.8 activity and other activities we will be studying in the next class, and these are all under the chemical reaction or chemical changes, because today if we are studying so many activities, it will be very difficult for us to remember all the activities and also perform all these activities. So you just stay tuned with all the lessons which I am posting. You do the physical properties and physical changes what I have done first today in the first part. You do those activities at home as well as in school. Then we will move on to this, all these things, the rusting of iron, what is a protective shield and all, in the next class. So for that you need to always subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. And if you are having any queries, any doubts, please do write in my comment box so that I can get back to you in the next episode. So in the next class, very soon I'll be coming back with this activities, and I'll be completing the full physical change and chemical change lesson. Thank you, and stay tuned and stay updated with all the lessons.